Hi, this is Emmy from Munich Artists. Today I'm going to show you the books that I purchased at Literature Moths. I love books, and I love art books because it combines my two passions, writing and art. And so I'm going to show you what I purchased yesterday at Literature Moths. So they had in a selection, and on the blog post for this you'll see a picture of it. They have 8 or 10 of these, and these are art books. So they are books that were created. This one was originally done as a Siebdruck, a screen print. And I mean, you can tell if you look at the way that it was printed. So I just wanted to flip through so you can see the book. And if you like it, you can go look at the other ones. And I thought this was a good way for me to learn German, or work on my German. I showed this to somebody yesterday, and they were making a comment about the title of this other book, and said it was a good German word. So I have to learn. And this is one of the things when you're not a native German speaker, you're always learning. So anyways, this is the book. And in the back it talks a little bit about the book itself, and so then in case you want to know more about the book. Anyways, so this one I thought was really interesting, and I just love how it looks. Right? Then the second one, this is the one that the artist yesterday thought was really funny name, Frostbühlen, and I cannot explain to you what that is. But I really also liked the way that this artist and the way that the words are combined, because we do the Munich Stories book, and I'm always looking for something different. I want Munich Stories to have more of an art feel, so I think we will make the book smaller, and maybe make volumes to keep the different stories separate, because the stories were very eclectic this year, and I would really like them to be curated into these type of books. So for Munich Stories this year, we will do something like this, where the books are, you'll get a packet of books, because we're going to have Munich Stories this year will be in German and in English, and so, but I want them all together, and I think this will be the best way of doing this, something like this. So look forward to that. Anyways, I bought these two because I thought they were really cool. And I will put the information on the blog post. Then I had watched a whole documentary about Christoph Niemann and his Sunday sketching and his life, and all about him. And I totally loved it, because here is a German who was trained in Germany, and Germans didn't get him, so he moved to America, and Americans loved him, and he did 22 New York Times covers. So this man has been very prolific, and he said that he had all this work. In the documentary, he talks about how he moves back to Berlin, not because he doesn't love New York, he still loves New York, but because the way of life in America is just a little too hectic. All you do is work. So he moved back to Berlin so that he could have more inspiration and a little bit more time to just enjoy the quality of his life. So he lives in Berlin now, but he's still doing New York Times covers. And this book goes through, he has this project on Instagram, I think, where he goes through, I haven't read this book yet, so he goes through, and he does, on a Sunday, he does a sketch. So this whole book is his sketches from Sunday. Here's one of his New York Times. But this one is sort of like, it goes through the history of it. I mean, it's going through his life, right? It's like a memoir. And I totally love this, and it's going to help me with the Clohischen memoir I'm working on, because I was kind of stuck that I had to write everything, but I'm like, no, I don't have to write everything. I'm an artist and a writer, so I can do whatever I want. And I think this is one of the things that we forget, that we can do whatever we want. As an artist, we can do whatever we want. So anyways, this book I thought was really cool, and so I purchased it, and if you want to look at it, I will have it at the studio, but not yet, because I would like to finish reading it. Anyway, so this is a really cool book by Christoph Niemann, and it was like 30 some euros or something like that. But it's a really big book, like a lot. And yeah, it's just cool. He's very creative, and if you don't know who he is, I'll have a link to his website so you can check on him. but he's really cool, and he's a German artist I found very inspirational. Want to share that with the artists in Munich artists. Then I purchased this finally. I say finally because I've seen it at 4 or 5 different locations, and I'm like, oh, I really want this to play with it, right? It's not just to keep, but I want to play with them. I'm going to use these maps, and so here we go. All right, so here is the maps. Okay, so they say here it is, if you're not reading German, this is Geschenk in creative paper, and so that means that it is wrapping paper or paper to do creative things with. So since Munich Artist does creative things with things, we're going to use it as creative paper. And so it's just old maps, and so these are probably copyright free maps, right? Because they're like ancient. And this company, I saw that they do this, and I thought that was really funny. So they basically take copyright free material and print it, and then you share it with you. And so here's a bunch of, probably got this on those archives on Flickr. If you feel like you need to do this, don't want to buy this book, you can go to Flickr, and you can purchase, you can just print the maps on, I think Flickr has a Creative Commons search, and you can just do a search for maps. And I will put that on the blog post, so you can look at that if you want. And that allows you to get a map, and you can print it yourself. But see, this is, I'm going to rip one of them out so you can look at it. So which one should I rip out? Let's rip out London. So the map from London, the reason I think it's worth buying the book is the book wasn't so expensive, and it's an A2, right? So it's a very big piece of paper. So because it's wrapping or creative paper. And since they say it's creative paper, then it should be okay to use for art projects. Let's see if it says anything about, I don't know if it says anything about the acid level in the paper. But here in the back you can see the little tiny diagrams. But I always find those a little, not enough information. Right? So that's pretty cool. So there you go. That was what I purchased at Literature Moths yesterday. If you're an artist, Literature Moths, if you're an artist, they always have art in their window. So you can ask them, you can send them an email and then go talk to the owner, and then you can ask if you can have your artwork in their window. A couple of Munich artists that I know have done this and have sold pieces. So they put artwork in the window, and then they put it on the walls within the store, and the type of people who go to the store are people who like this kind of stuff. So there would be people like me who are looking for something a little different. So and everything the art that they show is always a little different. Right now they have these Siebdruck, I think it's a print, some kind of print. I didn't read the information so closely, and not inexpensive, right? The pieces were, I think, €800 for a print, or don't quote me on that, but it'll be on their website, and you can check, and I'll have a link to that too if you're an artist and you want to do that. And if you want to support the bookstore, I highly recommend that you go here, because they have everything at different price points, right? So all of these were different price points. These were €14. These little books were €14, which actually I think is a pretty good deal. And this book was expensive, but it's also a very big book. And this was, did it say in here? I don't know how much this was. Oh, wait, let me check. This was €10. So this was €10, which if you think you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is that right? 12? You could have just read the cover. It has 12 pieces of paper that you can do things with. And if you, one of the artists that I have bought something at Happy Art, she has printed Siebdruck, so she did a screen print on this type of paper, which looks really, really cool. So, you know, I'm going to try something like that, but not with screen print. I have a press, so I'm going to try doing something with that. And that technique I learned from Gabrielle Pope, which is you make that piece of plastic and then you put it on there. So I'll experiment, and I'll show you my experiments with this paper. But yeah, I wanted to show you what I got because they were such cool things, and I would love you to support our local bookstore that is supporting artists, because this is very important for me personally. It's very important, and I think it's very important for Munich to have spaces like this. I love large internet bookstores because I can find whatever I want. But you know what? There is such a big difference when you walk into a bookstore and you can hold a book and look at it, because I wouldn't have purchased these online because you don't see what's inside, right? And these kind of books you really need to look in, because it's an art book and you want to see what the artist has created. And you can't do this online. This is one of the faults with online purchasing. But you can find these little treasures. And this is like a nice gift too, because it's 15 euros and it's a really nice gift to give people. I think these two, and then this would be a nice gift for an artist. And this one's a nice book for yourself. I think this book is a good book for inspiration. I talked to one of the artists on Instagram. She's been posting her daily drawings. Her name is Kirsten Klein, and she does really interesting little drawings every day to keep herself drawing. She's a very good artist. And I told her that this would be a cool, for her to put all those into a book, right? Because it looks really cool, and it would be fun to read those, because when you're looking at Instagram, the picture is a little small and you're not really, you don't have so much time. So I just liked seeing them, but I don't sit there and read them closely, especially because she's writing in German, and then I have to translate that and make sure that I've got the translation correct. And that seems to be a lot of work at 8 o'clock in the morning when I look at my Instagram feed. So, all right. Have a good week, and I will do these showing what I get from different places when I go to them. I will try to do that a little more often for you, because I spend a lot of time on the go, and I feel like it may be helpful for you to see the places that I'm seeing and the things that I'm getting when I go to those places, because this is not necessarily stuff that you can get in every store, at least with these two books.